In this video we will cover off when we get closer to enemy game object. As you can see, enemy is playing running animation clip, and when we out of attack range, enemy is playing ideal animation clip. As you can see, when we get inside attack range of enemy, it's playing running animation. When we out, it's playing ideal animation clip. Okay, so without furthering delay, let's get into this. Replace this white capsule collider to a game object character. To do so, we will move to google.com. Okay, you can find this website. It's called mixamo.com. Okay, I will have a link in the description. You can go and check that out. You need to create a account first there. Okay, just create with your email and set a password, and then you can use any character you like right over here. You can click on this, use this character. Okay, you can choose any character you want for your game. So I'm gonna go with this character. Okay, so what you need, select this character and use this character. In the right section you can see the download button, so click on that and choose right over here from binary FBX to this for Unity. Okay, FBX for Unity, and select T-pose or original ports. It's totally up to you. So I'm gonna go with T-pose and click on download. And once I already have downloaded, okay, so once you download, I'm gonna go to Unity and let's go to project tab, then assets, right click on assets, let's create folder. Let's call this folder to character. Okay, sorry, character, and right over here we will drag those character. Okay, so I'm gonna go to file manager, what I downloaded recently. I'm gonna select that and let's drag it to that character folder, and it will drag. Okay, so as you can see right over here we have, so what we need, let's drag this character into our scene view. So as you can see, it's totally white. Okay, we need to extract all of the texture from this character. To do so, what we're gonna do, we're gonna select this character. Okay, select this character, go over to inspector. In the top right you can see texture, and click on this extract texture. Okay, and select a folder where you want to extract. So I'm gonna go to assets. I recently created this character folder. Let's select that folder. Okay, you can extract that with any folder you can. Okay, and then it says a material is using as normal, so just click on this fix now. Okay, and it will fix. So I'm gonna clear the console. So as you can see, we extracted the textures. Okay, so as you can see, now we have our enemy. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to replace this. So I'm gonna attach, let's drag this game object top of my hierarchy so I can see all the time. Okay, so what we want to do now, I want to set the property of this white capsule collider to this enemy. So basically what I want to attach rigid body. So let's go over to enemy. Let's go to capsule collider. So basically what we want, let's attach the enemy script to this game object. Okay, so let's attach that enemy script. Okay, and you can drag, so also make sure you attach all of the component right over here. So I'm gonna attach the nav mesh agent. Okay, nav mesh agent, then you can increase, you can play around. Okay, and agent and player. So I'm gonna drag the player into that player field, and agent to agent field, and let's add up a rigid body for gravity. Okay, rigid body, and you can play around with mass, and I'm not gonna do anything like right over here. And as you can see, and a collider just attached to our this enemy game object. Okay, let's call mutant to enemy. So I'm gonna call this one to enemy. Okay, enemy, and click on overrides, and okay, it's not doing. Okay, leave it like that. Okay, and as a layer mask, let's choose ground. Sorry, not ground, basically the player. Okay, and and I'm gonna disable this enemy game object, or basically this white enemy. So I'm gonna disable that. Instead, what I want, if I select this enemy game object, and you can play around with the capsule collider, sorry, basically this collider. You can set the radius. As you can see, let's make the height a little bit lower, something like this. You can just play around, you're gonna get hang of it. Okay, so this our enemy game object now. So if I hit this play button, we should hope that if we just go to attack range or attack radius of this enemy game object, this enemy game object will chase us. Okay, so let me show that to you. Okay, so let's go to attack. Sorry. So as you can see, it's chasing us and it's stopping. Okay. So what we need to go to enemy nap mesh agent. So let's stopping the distance, let's make it something like 3. So when the enemy get too much close to our player game object, it will stop. So you can choose a stopping distance as much as you want, it's totally up to you. And let's I'm gonna increase the attack radius of this, something like, let's do it 10. Okay, so in this range, if we come, this enemy game object will chase us, and just play around with, and you're gonna get hang of it. Okay, so what we need play a idle animation. Okay, we need to play idle animation when the player is not chasing us, and when we comes to the attack range, this enemy should play the running animation or chasing animation. And when it gets too much close to our player game object, in that situation we need to play attack animation. Okay, attack animation to this, basically this game object. Okay, or this enemy. So what we also need to download those animation from that site. Okay, so let's go to that mixamo.com and let's import some animation. To do so, let's go to uh, maximo.com miximo sorry mixamo.com. Okay, you can see in the top it says animation, so character and animation, so click on that. So what we need idle animation, attack animation, and running or the chasing animation we need. So let's do that. So let's sorry browse animation. Okay, so click on right over here, search for idle, sorry idle. So click on idle and search right there. So so I'm gonna, so you can choose any animation you like. So I will choose a normal one. Okay, so let's do this one, breathing idle. So I'm gonna select this and go over to download. Okay, yeah, click on download, and we already have downloaded the character game object. So what we're gonna do, we gonna choose without skin. Okay, without skin, and you can choose frame. So I'm gonna go with 30, and for none, to uniform. Okay, keyframe uniform, choose uniform or uniform, I don't know, keyframe reduction. Okay, let's choose the uniform. Okay, and over here without skin, choose without skin, because we already downloaded the character. Okay, so we don't want the character skin at all. So we just downloading the character without skin, basically we downloading the animation only. But if you want to download the character as well, you have to choose with screen. Okay, and you can see the animation is playing and you can look around. Okay, the animation, and you can select any animation you like. So I'm gonna go with this breathing idle. Okay, so this one standing idle, you can say. So so I want to download this, so click on download, and I'm gonna choose without skin and uniform and click on download. It will take a few moments for downloading it, our animations. Okay, it will okay, it's downloading. So let's find another animation which is chasing and the attack one. So let's search right over here in the top. Okay, so let's search chase or run. Let's choose run. Okay, run, and so we can choose any character we want running. Okay, so you can see right over here. So I'm gonna choose this one. Okay, and you can see, so if you want to see this character, so in place, click on this in place, and you can see the character is running in the top bottom. Okay, top right in the bottom section. Okay, so as you can see, and you can choose any animation you like. So I'm gonna download this one, so click on download, and without skin and uniform, let's click on download. It will download the animation. Okay, the animation, and let's download the other one, which is the left one, attack animation clip. So let's download that. So find right over here attack and search. Okay, so it will, sorry, so I'm gonna choose this one. This one looks pretty good. Okay, you can choose any of them, it's totally up to you, as you can see. So I want to choose this one. Okay, this one seems pretty great. Oh, okay, so click on download, and click on download, so it will download the animation. So let's go over to Unity now. Okay, so just okay, so let's go to Unity now. Let's create a animation folder. Okay, so I'm gonna go to project tab, assets. Let's create a folder. So right click on assets, then create folder. Let's call this folder to animations. Okay, animations, and let's drag the all of the animation which we downloaded. Let's drag all of the animation right into this folder. Okay, so let's go to file manager, and in download section we downloaded attack, run and idle. Let's select all of them, and let's drag it to that folder. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this. Now we downloaded all of the animation, you can see right over here. Okay, so what we need now, if we select this anime game object, we need to attach a component. It's called Animator, which is responsible for playing our animation clip. Okay, so what we need to attach a animator component to this anime game object to play our animation. Okay, to do so, select the anime game object, click on add component, and find over there animator. Okay, animator, and it says controller and none runtime. So what we will create a anime controller. Okay, and we need to drag it right over here, or right over here. So we will have, so this component is responsible for playing our animation. Okay, you can say something like that. So we need to create a animator controller. Okay, so to create that animator controller, you need to go to assets. Okay, right click on assets. So I'm gonna right click on this animation folder. Let's create, and you can see in the bottom section, okay, somewhere here, as you can see, animator controller. So click on that and name the animator controller. I'm gonna name it anime controller, animator controller, or anime controller. Okay, so and double click that to open up that. As you can see, we don't have animation to this animator controller. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna select and let's drag it. So sorry, I'm gonna drag it right over here. Okay, so okay, so what we need to drag all of the animation into this anime game object. Okay, before we do that, select this anime game object and drag this animator controller into this controller section. Okay, and let's drag all of this animation. So I'm gonna select the first one, which is the let's choose the ideal one. Okay, ideal one, and let's drag it top of this anime game object in hierarchy. Okay, so sorry, not this one, basically this animator one. Select this one and drag it to animator anime. Okay, they basically drag top of anime game object, so it will attach the animator, basically the animation clip ideal one to our anime game object, or you can say this animator controller. Now if we double click this animator controller, as you can see, that animation clip just added first run. Oh sorry, not a first run, we should drag the ideal one. Okay, stand ideal. So I'm gonna select this animation clip, and I'm gonna drag it to this anime game object. Okay, onto enemy game object, it will attach that animation clip in animator component. So let's double click this animator controller. As you can see this one, so I'm gonna right click and set as layer default state. So this one will be default one. Okay, let me show that to you. So if I hit this play button now, you gonna able to see this this anime game object will play that animation clip, which is the standing idle one, and we set that one to default. We should able to see, as you can see, indeed animation is playing to our player game object. Okay, sorry, not player game object, it's anime game object. Okay, and if we set this one first run, right click on that and set as layer default state and hit this play button, we should able to see right away this anime game object will play running animation clip. Okay, so let's see that. As you can see, it's indeed playing that animation clip, but it's stuck. So what we need to choose all of this animation. Okay, and if we go over to inspector in the top right, okay, top right, so I'm gonna select this one, which is the running one. If I select this one and move over to inspector, then animation, we can see the loop time. So as you seen, this anime game object stuck, or it's not playing over again and again the running animation clip, but we need to play that over again and again the running animation clip. So what we need to select that and click on this loop time, check this loop time, and for idle as well we do one. So click on save and let's select this standing idle. Let's click on loop, as well as let's choose this attack one, and let's go over to animation in the inspector, scroll down to the bottom, and you can see loop time. So check this one. So you're gonna able to see all of this. So click on save, and now if we hit this play button, the running animation clip of anime game object will be played forever. Basically it will be looped now. Okay, so as you can see, it's looping, and indeed our anime game object is playing the running animation clip, as you can see right over here. Okay, so as you can see, so what I'm gonna do now, uh, let's open up the anime. Let's drag the last animation clip, so the attack one. So let's choose this, click on this arrow, and let's choose this one and drag it to this anime game object. Okay, so it will attach in animator component this attack one. Okay, so basically what we need now, we need to make transition between this. If the player game object comes in attack range. Okay, so if I select this anime game object, if the player comes in attack radius of this anime game object, and then in that condition enemy should play the running instead of the idle one. This anime game object should chase us our player game object in that situation. So basically we need to play the running animation clip of our anime game object. Okay, to do so, so we need to basically make transition between this. Okay, so to make transition, right click and make transition to I'm gonna set this standing idle, which is the idle one, just standing. I'm gonna set that one animation clip to default one. Okay, that will be the default one. So right click and set as layer default. Okay, I'm gonna delete this arrow. From idle we need to make transition to run now. So right click and make transition to run, and from run, and let's choose this arrow, and we need to set some certain condition to go into that run animation clip. So basically if player game object comes in that attack radius of enemy game object, in that situation this enemy should play the running animation clip. So we will set some certain parameter. So you can see the parameters in the left side. Okay, in animator tab. Okay, so click on the, if you can find the animator tab, what you need to do, you need to go to window in the top, and then animation, scroll down animation, and you can find the animator tab as well as the animation. Okay, so I'm gonna choose this animator, and let's hit this plus icon right over here, and let's choose a bool. Let's call it a range. Okay, in range, let's call it in range. Okay, in range, and let's choose this arrow, and I'm gonna untick this as is the time. As soon as player comes in that attack range of enemy game object, then enemy should play the running animation clip right away. We don't want any delay, so that's why we untick this as exit time, and we will set this transition duration to 0, and we will set a condition. So I'm gonna set this in range parameter to true. So let's set that in range parameter to true. Okay, and we moving over to this running animation clip. Okay, of our player game sorry, enemy game object. We also need to go back to idle animation clip, or we will stack in this running animation clip forever. Let's suppose player is not in attack range, it's outside of this attack range or attack radius of this enemy game object. So in that condition, running animation should not be played. Instead, we should play standing idle animation clip or the idle animation clip. So we also need to make transition back to our idle, or we will stuck forever into a running animation clip even the player is not in attack radius of the enemy game object. Okay, so we need to make transition back to idle. So right click on first run and make transition back to idle. Okay, and let's select this arrow. So I'm gonna untick as soon as player is outside of the attack radius of enemy game object. We should play stand idle animation clip right away. We don't want any delay. Okay, so that's why I untick this exit time, and let's choose this transition duration 0, and let's choose a condition. So please hit this plus icon, and we will set this in range parameter to false. Okay, and now if we hit this play button, okay, hit this play button and play around with this in range parameter. If we set this one to be true or false, okay, you're gonna able to see, as you can see, the idle animation playing over again and again. If I just take a closer look of enemy game object, as you can see. Okay, now if I check this in range parameter, or if I set this one to be true, we should able to see, as you can see, running animation is just playing over again and again and again. Okay, and if I set this one false, this end range parameter, as you can see right away, the idle animation clip is playing because we have chosen those condition. As you can see, if I select this from idle to run, we set this condition. If in range parameter is true, then we will play this run animation clip. If I set this one, as you can see, and if I set this to false, we going back to idle animation clip because we chosen that condition. But when we should, okay, so I'm gonna unplay this now. So basically we want to set this parameter, okay, in range parameter to true or false through our code. Okay, through our code, we firstly will check, firstly we're gonna check if this player game object, okay, sorry, so if this player game object comes in this range attack radius of this enemy game object, then we want to set this parameter in range parameter to true or false, depending upon if the player is inside of that attack range or not. Okay, so basically we want to set, okay, to do so, what we need, as you can see, an animator component we attach to our enemy game object, and by this component we can switch up the access this parameter, and we can set to false, true, depending upon if the player comes in attack radius or not. So basically we need a reference of this animator component, and by this we can set this in range parameter to true or false. Okay, so let's open up our script by double clicking on it, and let's go to top of our class. Okay, and let's make a public, sorry, so let's, sorry, okay, so let's make a public animator. Okay, animator, basically we need a reference of that. Let's call it animator. Okay, and let's close that off with semicolon, control S to save your code. Now let's move to Unity. We should able to see in anime script, underneath our anime script, an animator component will be pop up. So what we need, we need to drag this animator right there. So we will have the reference, then we can set this in range parameter to true or false depending upon if the player game object is close enough to sorry, in attack inside attack radius or not. Okay, so as you can see animator in and it says now empty. So what we need, so let's select this animator component, let's drag it right there, and let's double click that to open up in Visual Studio. Okay, and as you can see over here we checking, okay, if in attack range, okay, then we just chasing our player, and if it's not the case we will type else condition, make curly brackets. So over here as you can see, if in attack range, basically this one is true, basically player just inside of that attack radius. So what we want to do in that situation, we want to play the chasing animation clip or the running one. Okay, so we will move to that animator component we have reference, and we have to use this set bold function. Okay, and this function, firstly it will take the parameter name. So in if we move to Unity, as you can see in range, so we have to pass the same parameter name in quotation. Make sure you do the same thing. Okay, so in quotation you have to pass which is in range, and what we want to set it to true because because our player game object inside that attack radius of enemy game object. Okay, so that's why we're setting it to true. But if our player game object is it's not inside that attack radius, so what we want to do in that situation, we want to set this in range parameter to false, and if it's false we know it's going back to idle animation clip of enemy game object. So we will, let's copy this line of code. So if the player is not inside that in attack range, so let's paste it here. So in that situation, so this else condition will run, we will set that in range parameter to false. Okay, and control S to save your code. Now let's move to Unity. We should be able to see now that in this enemy will play running animation clip or idle depending upon if the player comes in that attack radius of enemy or not. Okay, so let's check that out. Okay, so let's hit this play button. You're gonna able to see some if we go get in this attack radius of enemy game object, enemy should play this run animation clip. So let's do that. So I'm gonna go inside. So as you can see running animation is playing. Okay, if I take a closer look, sorry, so as you can see running animation is playing. Now if I just get out of this attack radius, so sorry, if I just let me show that. Okay, I don't, as you can see when we outside of the attack range, as you can see enemy is playing idle animation clip. Okay, so you can take a look right over here. So when we get inside, then it's playing running animation, and when we out, it's not playing running animation clip. Okay, it's playing the idle one. I hope you get the idea, and the next, in the next video we will cover up the attack animation clip. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed. So I'm gonna unplay this, and lastly thanks for watching this video.